It's my Egyptian Uromastyx Hero, just chilling out, basking on his rocks there. A lot of people ask me what they think, what I think actually is the best pet reptile, whether it be a snake, lizard. Um, See a lot of different lizards at the reptile expos. I don't know, I've experienced with quite a few. Um, I've water monitors, really cool to work with, but very expensive to have and house, and they're for more the experienced reptile keepers. But I'm not sure. This is a Egyptian Uromastyx, and he's the only one I've ever owned, and I've had him for 6 years now. I really think they're all around a really good pet lizard. The key is keeping the proper lighting and the humidity down. UVB's a must, and the heat source for basking. I go probably the minimum, which is like 110, but a lot of keepers go 115, 120, 130. He's done really well since he's been a baby with the 110, so I'm not changing it. Diet on these guys is fairly simple, just to add a little bit of variety there, but you don't have to have anything wild, no insects. They're herbivores. This guy really enjoys his premium romaine mix, and I'll put a little kale in once in a while, just a tiny bit. You gotta be careful with that because you can calcium bind with that. So the kale is minimal. He loves his bird seeds and lentils as well. But yeah, not too bad. I put a fresh bowl of veggies in there every other day for him, so he does well. They don't need any water, no water dish, no misting, so they absorb their moisture. They get all their moisture from their greens, and they have the ability to store it, which is great. This all comes from their adaptability out there in those such hospitable, harsh environments where the heat is intense. It's very dry, just arid, and the amount of vegetation that's out where they live is bare minimal. A lot of people use sand substrates with these guys. I agree, it does look pretty nice in an enclosure, but really, if you go into their environment where these guys come from, you go out there to Israel, the southern part of Israel, the substrate out there is real hard. It's rocky. So it's not anything like a sand like a lot of people would think. So for that reason, I've gone with like a type of material. It's like a desert mat, and it's just lay it flat out onto the bottom of the enclosure, and it's really hard. It's easy to clean. I just pull it out of here and just scrub it down, hose it, and put it back. I like that. And then as far as keeping the gradient in here, you're going to need an enclosure that's large enough to have two separate temperature gradients. And on mine, the cool side here, during the day it's right around 82, 83, and then at night it drops to about 78, 79. And again, he's done super well on this. So I think the key with the Uromastyx in this particular species, the Egyptian, is to make sure that you do keep the heat temperature at the right heat and keep it pretty warm. I got his enclosure too by a window, so I'll open up the curtains and he gets some natural sunlight as well, comes through the window. You zoom in on him. I have a few other videos of him. And his name's Heru. But yeah. He can be a little flighty, but for the most part he's calm. The more they heat up, they'll get a little more active, obviously. And you can see his coloration right now. It's fairly light, which means that he's happy with his heat absorption and the temperature. If he gets too cool, then his coloration will change to a slate gray, and that will increase his absorption, and then it'll change out to this lighter color. So yeah, pay close attention to the colors of your Uromastyx. They definitely will be altered slightly or change due to the temperatures. So if he was to be the slate gray for an extended period of time, then I would say, okay, I need to up the heat temperature during the day. But this really is a good indication that I have the heat at a satisfactory temperature for him. He's watching me right now. He's watching everything. I have a bearded dragon behind us, so he's looking at that bearded dragon moving. Let's see what he does. He might go into his little hide. There he goes. And he got into his hide. One of the other lizards behind us startled him. But that's what they'll do, and then he'll puff up. And this is his favorite spot, that one hide right there. And he'll come back out a little bit. But that's what they do in the wild. They'll scurry or run over to an area where the rocks are or a ledge or something and wedge themselves inside there to keep themselves safe from any predators. He's peeking out now. And that tail that's sticking out there, if anything comes along, they'll shake that tail. And it's got the spikes on it, so that's not anything of a meal for any of the predators that would approach him. Yeah, great lizards. I think they're really underrated. Wish there was more breeders out there. But yeah, anyone out there is interested, looking for a real nice reptile, and specifically a lizard, do some research and check the Uromastyx out. In my opinion, they're probably one of the best. All right. Take care. Bye.